The two worlds refers to the distinct biogeographic realms separated by the Wallace Line. These two worlds are Sundaland and Wallacea, which represent different ecological and evolutionary contexts within the Indonesian archipelago. Over millions of years, the deep ocean trench between the Asian and Australian continental shelves has acted as an invisible barrier, shaping the natural world and creating distinct biogeographic regions within the Indonesian archipelago. This remarkable boundary represents a transition zone between two distinct realms, separating the Asian and Australasian ecosystems. It highlights the power of geography in creating separate worlds and has played a significant role in shaping ecosystems and species adaptations, showcasing the influence of geographical boundaries on the diversity of life. This line represents a transition zone between two distinct realms, separating the Asian and Australasian ecosystems and known as the Wallace Line. The Wallace Line is a biogeographical boundary named after the British naturalist Alfred Russel Wallace, who discovered it in the mid-19th century. It runs through the Indonesian archipelago, specifically between the islands of Bali and Lombok. The Wallace Line was named after Alfred Russel Wallace, a prominent naturalist and contemporary of Charles Darwin. While exploring the Indonesian archipelago in the 19th century, Wallace noticed the striking differences in animal species between Bali and Lombok. This observation led him to propose the idea of a boundary that separates distinct biogeographic regions. The flora and fauna to the west of the Wallace Line have closer affinities with Southeast Asia, including species such as tigers, rhinoceroses, and monkeys. On the eastern side, the species resemble those found in Australia, including marsupials, cockatoos, and birds of paradise. This stark difference in species composition is attributed to the region's complex geological history and the influence of past climate changes. The Wallace Line extends beyond the Bali-Lombok region. It continues northeastward, dividing Borneo, Kalimantan, and Sulawesi. The line then proceeds through the Maluku Islands and reaches as far as the border between the Philippines and Sulawesi. Although the line is most evident in these areas, its effects can be seen throughout the Indonesian archipelago. The Wallace Line is not the only biogeographic boundary in the region. Another important line is the Weber Line, which runs parallel to the Wallace Line and marks a transition zone between the Asian and Australasian realms. The Weber Line is located further east and separates the Philippines from Borneo and Sulawesi. The existence of the Wallace Line has had profound implications for evolutionary biology. It represents a significant barrier that has influenced the divergence and speciation of species in the region. The distinct evolutionary histories on either side of the line have led to the development of unique and endemic species found nowhere else in the world. The Wallace Line is not only influenced by the separation of land masses but also by the presence of deep ocean trenches. The line corresponds to a region where the continental shelf of Asia drops off into the deep waters of the Lombok and Makassar Straits. These physical barriers likely played a role in limiting the movement of species between the two biogeographic regions. The Wallace Line has significant conservation implications. The distinct ecosystems and species on either side of the line highlight the need for targeted conservation efforts in each biogeographic region. Protecting and preserving the unique biodiversity of both Sundaland and Wallacea is crucial to maintaining the ecological balance and safeguarding vulnerable species. While the Wallace Line is generally seen as a barrier between two distinct biogeographic regions, it's important to note that there is some degree of intermixing or overlap in species distribution along the line. Certain species have managed to cross the boundary through various means such as dispersal, migration, or human-assisted activities. As a result, There are transitional areas where the composition of species exhibits a blend of characteristics from both sides of the line. The formation and persistence of the Wallace Line are influenced by various environmental factors. The line roughly corresponds to the boundaries of tectonic plates and is associated with differences in geological history, topography, climate patterns, and oceanic currents. These factors have contributed to the divergence and isolation of species on either side of the line. Various threats, including habitat loss, deforestation, climate change, illegal wildlife trade, and invasive species. Conservation efforts are aimed at preserving key habitats, establishing protected areas, and promoting sustainable land use practices. The Wallace Line represents not only a physical boundary but also a fascinating intersection of geography, biology, and history. Its influence on species distribution, the formation of distinct ecosystems, and its scientific significance make it a captivating subject of study and a reminder of the intricacies of our natural world. The ongoing research and conservation efforts surrounding the Wallace Line are crucial for unraveling its mysteries, protecting its unique biodiversity, and ensuring its legacy for future generations. It serves as a reminder of the dynamic processes that have shaped the Earth's ecosystems over millions of years.